In Chicago, there's a word that carries more weight than a gunshot: backdoored. It doesn't mean an enemy pulled the trigger. It means the danger was already inside. Someone you trusted, someone who knew where you'd be, someone who made sure you felt safe right before everything went dark. Tonight isn't about beefs you saw coming. This is about moments that felt normal until they weren't. Different names, different neighborhoods, same ending. Lil Dave was 16 years old, on an electric scooter, broad daylight. 5 gunmen, an ambush. People couldn't wrap their heads around it. Not the violence, but the precision. This wasn't random. This wasn't reckless. Someone knew exactly when he'd be there, and exactly how vulnerable he'd be. That's when the word started spreading again. Backdoored.
And new this morning, an 86-year-old woman is shot while watering her grass in the West Garfield Park neighborhood. Chicago police tell us someone in a dark-colored Dodge Charger fired shots in this area. You can see on the map here, it's near Monroe and Kildare. It was around 9:45 last night. The woman was shot in the foot. Again, she's 86 years old. She refused medical treatment. Police say she was not the intended target.
Breaking news out of Chicago's Garfield Park neighborhood this morning. Chicago police say one woman was killed and 4 others were hurt in a shooting early this morning. Officers tell us the shooting happened near Washington and Pulaski. One of the victims told police the shooter was traveling in a car and opened fire. The 4 victims that were shot were taken to area hospitals. None of their injuries appear to be life-threatening, but so far, no one is in custody.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago Eyewitness News.
Breaking news, police say a rideshare passenger was shot at from another car in West Garfield Park.
Our Jackie Kostek is live at Stroger Hospital with what we know so far. Good morning, Jackie.
Good morning. Yeah, police have not given us many details just yet, but we do know the victim is a 23-year-old man who was riding in the backseat of a rideshare last night when someone pulled up and started shooting into that car. The victim was taken here to Stroger Hospital and is expected to be okay. So police say this all started around 10 o'clock last night on West Lake Street near Costner in West Garfield Park. You can see police on scene investigating, and several bullet holes in the windshield of that Nissan Altima, which has a lift sign in it. The front passenger side window also appears to have been shot out. They say that 23-year-old man was sitting in the back of that car driven by a rideshare driver when someone in a dark-colored SUV started shooting. The victim was shot in the back and right arm, but is said to be in good condition. Now, we don't know anything about the shooter just yet, but police say no one else was injured in this shooting. They do not have the shooter in custody, but continue to investigate. Live at Stroger Hospital, Jackie Kostek, CBS 2 News.
Jackie, thanks for the latest on that.
In Chicago, violence often comes without warning. It doesn't wait for the night. It doesn't whisper before it strikes. Sometimes it happens in broad daylight when the world seems calm. On October 21st, 2025, the quiet of West Garfield Park was broken by a sound everyone in the neighborhood knows too well. Gunfire. 16-year-old David Mason Jr., better known as Lil Dave, never made it home that day. He would be shot off the same electric scooter that he was seen with in his most recent picture. By the time the sirens faded and the blue lights blurred against the street signs of West End and Keeler, the city had lost another teenager. But this one was different. This one felt targeted, calculated, and chillingly fast.
A 16-year-old boy is killed in a shooting on the city's west side. It happened this afternoon in the 4100 block of West End. Police say the teenager was near the sidewalk when he was shot multiple times. He took himself to the hospital but did not survive.
When officers arrived at the scene, David was nowhere to be found. No body, no shooter, only whispers. Witnesses said a car had peeled off seconds before police arrived. Someone had scooped him up, racing toward the hospital. Moments later, the phone rang at Mount Sinai Hospital. A drop-off gunshot victim, multiple wounds to the head, chest, and arms. The doctors tried, but there was nothing left to save. David Mason Jr. was pronounced dead, just 16. The scene he'd fallen on was already washing away, rain pooling where blood once spilled. No shell casings, no names, just one question echoing through West Garfield Park. Why him? Police don't often release surveillance footage right away, but this video spread quickly. A quiet block, a parked car, 5 men waiting inside. No movement, no music, no noise. Then a figure enters the frame, a teenager on an electric scooter gliding slowly down the street. That was Lil Dave. He wasn't running from anything. He wasn't armed. He was just coasting, completely unaware that he was seconds away from his final moment. At the 17-second mark, the silence explodes. All 4 doors of the parked car swing open. 4 men, dressed in black hoodies, move in perfect rhythm. They fan out and open fire. Automatic bursts, flashes of light, then chaos. Lil Dave jumps off his scooter and sprints out of the frame. The camera doesn't follow him, but you can hear it. The sharp, rapid gunfire cutting through the air. When the echoes finally stop, the car door slams shut. The vehicle speeds away. 17 seconds. That's all it took to erase a life. Someone found him minutes later, collapsed on the grass near the sidewalk. His body was still. The electric scooter lay twisted in the street, the front wheel spinning slowly in the wind. A stranger loaded him into a car, rushing him toward Mount Sinai. But by the time they got there, it was too late. Police tape stretched across the block. Neighbors gathered on their porches, whispering names, theories, and rumors. Some said it was retaliation, others said mistaken identity. But one thing was clear, this wasn't random. Lil Scoom was only 18 years old, barely old enough to understand how fast things can flip. An argument, a familiar block, a moment that should have ended with words. Instead, it ended with a chest wound and a crowd of unanswered questions. When stories came out, the timeline didn't sit right. Too fast, too clean, like the situation was already waiting for him.
What you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be. Damn. I want the world.
Like, where you want to be at age 33?
Man, out the Chicago, nigga, somewhere in Europe in a big ass crib with my wife and kids. So not worrying about. That's what I want to be. I want to be rich.
So you want to live in a whole nother country?
Man, yeah.
You want to raise your family in Europe?
Man, why not?
They not gonna be able to see the rest of their relatives.
We can come back, folks. It's always time. We're gonna have enough money to come back. I'm trying to be wealthy and get the phone for what this fuck. Especially first of all, I want to get my first goal now is get the away from him, folks.
Chicago was plagued by bloodshed during the long 4th of July holiday weekend, when 109 people were shot and 19 were killed, authorities said. There were 74 shooting incidents in the city from Wednesday to Sunday, including 3 mass shootings according to data released by police. The youngest victim was 8-year-old Bryson Orr, who was killed along with 2 female relatives in a shooting at a home in the Grand Crossing neighborhood the morning of July 4th. 2 other boys, ages 5 and 7, were injured, NBC Chicago reported. The rapper Lil Scoom was close friends with Chicago rapper Bloodhound Lil Jeff, who was shot and killed last month near the same location. Chicago police and city officials have addressed the gun violence over the 4th of July holiday weekend, during which over 100 people were shot and 19 killed, including several children and also including Lil Scoom himself.
Mayor Brandon Johnson and Chicago police calling for the community to step up and help after an extraordinarily violent weekend. More than 100 people shot on Chicago streets.
And WGN's Julian Cruz is live in the city's South Austin neighborhood with more now. Julian?
Good evening, Ray and Mike. Families across Chicago devastated by the violence here on the west side. One family we talked to dealing with their loss. Gunshot victim Melvin Hill found shot to death late last night here in his South Austin apartment.
CPDtip.com. Please give us information.
Top police commanders appealing for help to solve the case of victims like Melvin Hill, found unresponsive on his kitchen floor late last night, investigators say, with a gunshot wound to the head on the 200 block of North Central. Hill, one of 19 Chicagoans who lost their lives the 4th of July weekend.
19 families who woke up this morning without a son, without a daughter, without a mother, without a father.
Mayor Brandon Johnson at the Public Safety Building with Police Superintendent Larry Snelling and others. He says it's going to take everyone to slow the violence, with a staggering 109 shootings overall this violent holiday weekend.
I'm urging all of you across the entire city to step up to say that we've had enough, to step up to stop this vicious cycle of violence.
We need to take these people off the street, and we need to keep them off the street so that they don't reoffend.
Snelling repeating the mayor's plea for people to step up with information with the recent surge of vicious crimes, including the youngest victim of all, Bryson Orr, shot down in Grand Crossing along with his mother and cousin.
We cannot bring back these children. We need every single person to step up. We need people to start coming forward. We need people to take responsibility. Help us help you.
Somebody always knows something about somebody. Say something. Because it is a matter of life and death.
Mayor Johnson says that he and his administration are working to secure more federal funds in order for the city to deal with this crisis. In South Austin, Julian Cruz, WGN News.
All right, Julian.
I told you I don't have no key. I take it on the camera. I don't have no key. Like, is you slow?
Oh, wait. Look at this. This is easy power trap.
Yeah.
You go, boom.
Why y'all ain't just come with that?
Is the back door?
No.
So what you mean, why we ain't come to the back?
Oh.
18-year-old Ashrian Hogan, also known as the drill rapper Lil Scoom, has been identified as the male shot and killed late last night. On Sunday night, July 7, 2024, around 11:50 p.m., Chicago police responded to two separate calls about a person shot, one at 89th and Langley and the other at 87th and Calumet. Upon arriving at the 89th scene, they found Lil Scoom on the ground with two gunshot wounds to the chest. He was rushed to the University of Chicago Hospital, where he was pronounced dead.
What's going on? What's up, y'all? What's up? Check in real quick. I'm gonna do two quick lives because this is two separate scenes. Let me reverse the camera real quick.
I'm extending this crime scene. You're gonna have to back up for me.
So that's it.
Yes, that's from the City West. I spotted in one round up the sidewalk, 2041 West 79th Street, 2041 West 79th
So
Street.
they
Now
just
one
putting
round
up
up sidewalk.
red tape. It is two people shot, so I'm gonna give y'all an update in a minute.
That's the one who's pronounced if you're ready.
Go with it.
Male one with an afro, medium brown complexion. He received 2 GSWs to the chest and 1 GSW to the arm. This is the one who was found by the car. He also has a Boondocks tattoo with Riley with a halo and a scripture on his left arm. He's ready.
Chicago Police Department officers spotted a potential suspect on foot with a gun and pursued him. During the chase, the suspect fired at the officers. A 10-1 emergency was called, leading to a significant police response from multiple districts, including CPD SWAT, but the suspect managed to escape. Also the same time, CPD responded to a report of a teenager shot at 87th and Calumet. Upon arrival, they found a 16-year-old boy with gunshot wounds to both thighs inside an Uber. He was taken to the University of Chicago hospital. CPD reports that Lil Scoom and the teen, quote-unquote Lil Will, were together when they got into an argument with an unknown male, leading to the shooting. On the Ring cam footage, Lil Scoom can be heard asking his girlfriend about having a key to the house they were standing outside of.
Where's your keys? I told you I have no key. I take it on Amber. I don't have no key.
Where's your keys?
I told you I have no key. I take it on Amber. I don't have no key.
Where's your keys?
I told you I have no key. I take it on Amber. I don't have no key.
He knew something was up at that point, and you can see the girl start to nervously start to pace around him while playing with the light on her phone.
Light. Is you slow? Yeah.
It's ironic because Lil Scoom asked her if the back door was open to the house and she said no. But in reality, the back door was opened on him by her setting him up. Babo survived jail, survived bond, survived the doors opening, but he didn't survive the ride home. 20 shell casings hit the pavement moments after his release, like the clock was already running before he stepped outside. In Chicago, that kind of timing isn't luck, it's information. Chicago is a city where some stories never make it past the alleyways, where some names echo long after the chalk fades. And on the night of March 6, 2017, a name the streets knew well, Kamari Babo Belmont, stepped out of Cook County Jail, finally a free man. But freedom in Chicago is fragile, and for Babo, it lasted minutes. Tonight, we retrace the footsteps of a young man whose past was still waiting for him right outside the jailhouse doors. Just before midnight, Babo walked out after posting bond on a robbery charge. He had beaten a bigger case just weeks earlier, a murder charge dropped for violating the 120-day speedy trial rule. For most people, this would be a second chance, a new start, but the streets weren't celebrating Babo's return. They were watching. He slid into a car with two others, headed into the cold March night. No one in that vehicle realized they were being hunted, or that the hunters were already close. To understand why this night unfolded the way it did, you have to understand who Babo was. To some, he was just another name in the system. To others, he was a feared hitter, linked to two killings, Big Freaky in 2011. He was a member of Drek's side, and in 2012, Babo allegedly killed Lil Chief from their rivals 051 Young Money. His reputation wasn't built on rumors, it was earned in blood, and reputations like that don't fade, they wait, sometimes for years. As Babo's car rolled less than a mile from the jail, something unsettling happened in the quiet. A white SUV appeared, not speeding, not swerving, just syncing its movement with theirs, almost like it already knew where Babo would be. Inside the SUV, police sources believe sat members of 051 Young Money. Old conflicts don't die in Chicago, they circle back, and this one had perfect timing.
Serious questions tonight for the Cook County State's Attorney. How did prosecutors miss a deadline to bring a defendant to trial?
Murder charges had to be dropped, and the 23-year-old man was released from county jail, only to be shot to death moments later. Here's CBS 2's Jim Williams.
As Kamari Belmont sat in Cook County Jail charged with murder, the clock started running.
We want accused people, we want victims, witnesses, everybody. We want them to have a speedy trial.
Prosecutors had 120 days to bring Belmont to trial under the state's speedy trial statute. they didn't get it done and had to drop the murder charges. Michael Johnson was Belmont's attorney.
In all my years, and I've handled hundreds of murder cases, the first time this has ever happened to me.
CBS 2's legal analyst Irv Miller was a supervisor in the state's attorney's office.
When you were in the state's attorney's office, what would have happened?
Whoever didn't count the days would have been fired.
State's attorney Kim Fox's spokesperson blamed her predecessor, Anita Alvarez's administration. An error occurred in the handling of this case by the prior administration. Going forward, we are working to improve training protocols for our prosecutors to prevent such errors. Minutes after Belmont posted bond Monday night and left county jail, someone in this SUV fired shots at the 23-year-old. He didn't make it to the hospital.
What was your reaction when you found out he had been shot to death?
I was absolutely stunned and felt very bad for his family.
We asked the media office for State's Attorney Kim Fox, who's been in office for months now, whether her administration should assume some responsibility for the error. We have no further comment, they said. We were unable to reach former State's Attorney Anita Alvarez for comment.
At 11:43 p.m., the silence broke. The SUV pulled alongside Babo's car, windows lowered, muzzles flashed. What happened next took seconds, but felt orchestrated, methodical. Babo was hit again and again, 19 shots tearing through the darkness. His door swung open as he stumbled into the street, collapsing on the cold pavement of the 3300 block of South California. 12 minutes later, at 11:57, he was pronounced dead. The SUV didn't get far. It crashed soon after. Its occupants vanished on foot, ghosts dissolving into the city that created them. Babo's path to this moment had been shaped long before March 2017. In 2015, he and two associates, Terrence Hogans and Khalil Powell, were charged with back-to-back robberies just an hour apart. In one of those robberies, a victim, Sorrell Marshall, was shot and died weeks later. That escalated the charges to murder. But over almost 2 years, delays, continuances, and resets dragged the case out. When Babo demanded trial, the clock began ticking, 120 days. And when the state missed that deadline, the case fell apart. To some, it was a legal technicality. To others, it was unfinished business. That night, someone decided to finish it.
Nigga, fuck Vaughn. On for them grade, y'all know I'm coming, y'all know I'm bumming. Nigga, fuck Noose. Fuck Babo. Boys.
The police suspected Young Money was behind the shooting. The motive? An old rivalry, a fallen member, a score waiting to be settled. But no arrest, no public suspects, no clear confession. Just an SUV crashed into a night that refused to speak. Did they follow him from the jail? Did someone tip them off? Or had the plan been set long before the bond receipt was printed? Babo stepped out thinking he'd beaten the system, but the streets have their own rules and their own clock.
Yeah, bro. I ain't gonna run. Please, who's over there? 23's headed, but who is over there? Walk back over here. Alright. Squad, they trying to get away. Step it up. Alright, you have a description. Alright, take your time. Shit wrong. You pulling back up. I'm telling you to stop. Stop. I didn't do anything. Put your hands behind your back. I didn't do anything. Go ahead, sir. You have the air. Black hair, black dreads. Right there, right there.
DMG Lil Deuce was outside during morning hours, a regular walk, no visible threat, until a car slowed down. People still debate how they knew he'd be there. Why that moment? Why that block? Because someone always talks, sometimes without realizing the cost.
Yo, what's good, man? How you coming?
Big Skoom, niggas know I'm back from the takeover, man. Niggas know what the fuck going on, man.
man, taking over the trenches. Y'all know what I'm on, back where I left, back where I started. Rookie of the year, you know. Had a slight little fuck up, free my rappy, man. Real nigga, free Trey Switch, man.
All right, man, what your plans are since you got out?
Run shit up to the scaffold.
You about to take over it or what?
Yeah, all type of shit. All type of hot shit. I'm dropping Saturday.
You got some new shit coming up? All right.
Every time this come out, this shit already be out.
All right.
Keep coming on me. Yeah, y'all got them things. Y'all better bring that up. Y'all said that shit. Shake. I just told y'all what it is when they see me. I'm finna stay down here. Hand me that. I'm finna stay down here by this doodle. Tell them to check it out. Somebody call for them at this.
It started like any other September morning in Chicago's South Side. People rushing to work, kids heading to school, a neighborhood just beginning its day. But at 10:30 a.m., everything had changed.
Tell us something. They say he's gone, y'all. Right station right across the street. Crazy work, ain't it?
A young man, only 23 years old, was walking near the 800 block of East 91st Street when a vehicle crept up alongside him. In seconds, the silence was broken. Gunfire tore through the street. The man collapsed, struck multiple times. He was rushed to the University of Chicago Medical Center, but he never made it out alive. That man was DMG Lil Deuce, and his death wasn't random. For years, his name had been whispered in both fear and respect, loved by some, hated by many, and he was a figure both notorious and mysterious.
Goofies, bro. Look at them niggas, bro. Them niggas ain't all the real members gone, bro. Y'all supposed to change y'all name, make something else. What the fuck?
Don't phone them. 600 is not 600 no more. Go back to the city.
What the fuck is a 600 criteria? What is a 600 criteria though? I get your goofy ass.
Nigga, you know what, nigga? 600, nigga. What you talking about, nigga?
And bench that ass. Fuck that shit, gang.
And all y'all dead homies, nigga. Turn up about it. You talk about.
To understand the weight of Lil Deuce's death, you first have to understand where he came from. DMG, short for Detro Money Glizzy Gang, is more than just a name. It's a set born out of alliances, rivalries, and tragedy. Their home is in the southwest side of Chicago, in the area known as Cross-Western, a mix of BDs, GDs, and Vice Lords. The Seven Deuce faction built its reputation in the streets long before most people ever heard their name online. Unlike some of their rivals, DMG never showcased their every move. They weren't posting high-speed chases or flaunting endless gunplay on social media. Instead, their presence was felt in quieter, deadlier ways. Stories of them terrorizing rivals spread word of mouth. Their enemies feared them. Their allies respected them. And everything they stood for was carried under the name of one man, Detro, an 18-year-old killed on July 4th, 2021. In his honor, the set carried the Detro Money legacy forward. But within that world, a rising figure began to stand out. His name, Lil Deuce.
I understand Detro is a
twin
friend.
brother.
Oh, your twin brother?
Yeah, best friend.
Okay. Somebody that passed away.
Yeah. What's up?
Is that where the DMG come from?
Yeah, that's your money gang. What you know what's so great? Man, saying DMG like drugs, money, guns, Deuce money gang. You could say anyway, but that's your money gang. When you're at the double G though, that's your money glizzy gang, you know?
Jeremiah Dawson, better known as DMG Lil Deuce, carried himself like he had nothing to fear. But behind his reputation, there was a darker story. Deuce wasn't just another face in the crowd. Rumors swirled around his name. Claims that he had taken lives, not just of rivals, but of people who weren't even directly tied in the streets. Stories circulated that he shot Mac, who was tied to the now extinct Chop Block. That he killed BG Pat's brother, a man with no real involvement in the war. and that even the uncle of a girl connected to bando boys wasn't spared. And others, like a man named Eugene, names lost in whispers but tied to his reputation. And in his own music, Deuce made chilling admissions. He claimed to have killed at least 8 people.
Madman, nigga. He talking about RP Madman, I'm on our Madman.
Whether it was boasting, truth, or both, his words left people questioning how far he'd gone. But Lil Deuce wasn't untouchable. Years before his death, he was shot and nearly killed. The injuries were so severe that he was left with a permanent limp. For months, rumors spread that he had a prosthetic leg. He didn't, but the limp became a visible scar of the life he lived.
So I noticed that you walk with a heavy limp.
Yeah. I got shot 11 times my whole life. 10 times at once and once another altercation. I ain't never got shot by no enemies or nothing though. All type of like, just altercations and shit going on. You get into it, motherfucker, type shit like that, you know?
Okay, that's
patience and it turns into something that it wasn't supposed to be.
Okay. But let's break that down though. You say you've been shot on 2 different occasions.
Yeah.
One time you had got shot 10 times?
Yeah, first time I got shot one time on my shoulder. Then the second time I got shot. And the second time I got shot, then everywhere, folks. You know what's the crazy thing about it? I got shot like all the way, I ain't gonna say where I got shot at, but I got shot like all the way in the suburbs. And it was like, I remember the day, like yesterday, it was a snowstorm. We was going to the buzz for a situation, it was me and Detro. We get to the buzz, that shit go on. He take me all the way to the hospital on 63rd and what hospital? St. Bernard. He took me all the way to St. Bernard. In the middle of a snowstorm, I'm bleeding from 10 different areas. I'm on the Carjacking. Go, for. I just remember folks steady crying, they saying. Folks kept saying, the car sliding because there's snow outside, so the car sliding on the E-way. We get right there, he help and shit. I get that, and there ain't no trauma unit us, so they had to take me to UIC. So I'm bleeding from different bullet wounds for like 30, 40 minutes.
Still, despite everything stacked against him, Deuce remained. And with every day he survived, so did the growing tension around his name. On Friday, September 12, 2025, that tension finally reached its breaking point. Just after 10:30 a.m., a vehicle pulled up on East 91st Street. Inside, someone was waiting, watching, timing. Then came the shots. Lil Deuce fell, struck repeatedly. The street echoed with chaos before the car sped away. Witnesses scrambled, but by the time help arrived, it was already too late. He was taken to the hospital, but the wounds were too deep. Too many, and at just 23 years old, his life was gone. The shooter vanished without a trace. Police confirmed the incident, but gave little else. To this day, no one has been arrested. Area 2 detectives are investigating, but in the world Deuce came from, investigations rarely provide closure. Q50 with Lil 50 was 15 years old. An alleyway. Dreams barely started. The aftermath raised more questions than answers. Even the suspect didn't live long enough to explain anything. And when the truth disappears that fast, it usually means it was never meant to surface.
Who are some rappers you looked up to growing up? Or who was you listening to?
I looked up to Polo G, Lil Dave. I looked up to Chief Keef. I looked up to.
Okay.
Who else I looked up to? Then who else? King Vine, like that.
Police investigators are looking for a shooter and an explanation after a 15-year-old boy was shot and killed overnight in West Woodlawn.
Courtney is live at Comer Children's Hospital with what we've learned. Courtney? Yeah, good morning to you both. That boy was rushed here last night to the hospital after he was wounded in that shooting, but he did not survive. As of this morning, his identity has not yet been released, and police are still looking for the person who pulled the trigger.
Over here now.
You can hear police dispatch audio right there revealing officers were met with a large crowd when they arrived on scene last night. According to police, the shooting happened just before 8:30 in the city's Woodlawn neighborhood. CPD says the boy was standing in an alley near 66th and Champlain when someone opened fire, hitting him in the chest and left leg. On scene, investigators blocked off an alleyway as they documented and canvassed for other evidence. At least 16 evidence markers were down on the ground, and you could see shell casings and other personal belongings, including clothing. Now, as of this morning, the motive for this shooting and what may have led up to it is still not clear. And again, Chicago police say no arrests have been made. Area 1 detectives are investigating the crime, and police ask anyone with information in the meantime to give them a call or submit a tip online anonymously.
During the interview, it's clear to see that Lil 50 and Fully Chop are heavily influenced by both Bloodhound Lil Jeff and Bloodhound Q50. Both of these guys are kids skipping school to do an interview, and they're only 15 and 16.
Welcome to DJ UTV, man. It's a Wednesday afternoon, man. Ain't y'all supposed to be in school or something?
Yeah.
Why y'all in the class? Y'all ditching?
High school dropout.
Yeah, do a little bit. No problem.
Yeah.
A little ditch.
So it's a ditching or did y'all drop out?
Nah, a little ditch.
Okay. So y'all still enrolled in school?
Yeah.
In high school?
Yeah.
So y'all did school to come to the interview?
Yeah.
Damn.
In reality, they're inspired by guys who are only 4 to 5 years older than them, which is a sad reality because Lil Jeff was killed in July of 2024, and Q50 has been shot on multiple occasions. Q50 W Lil 50 was only 15 years old. Now he's dead, just like Lil Jeff. DJ U tells Fully Chop that the word around town is he's the quote-unquote baby Lil Jeff.
So you got some attention on you right now. I found you just scrolling through Reddit, you know. They say Fully Chop 2 times. They say this the baby Bloodhound Lil Jeff. And I said, oh, okay.
DJ U asked Lil 50 how he got his name because it's obvious that he named himself after Bloodhound Q50.
Now, the song is featuring Q50, Lil 50. That's how to pronounce the name?
Q50 Willa 50.
Say it again.
Q50 Whitler 50.
Q50 with Lil 50.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's you, right? Can you tell us how you came up with that name?
Alright, so look. Every time I got it from off Q50, nah, it was none of that. So one time we was in the Q50. Like my name Lil 50, right? We was in the Q50, so we just, Q50 Whitler 50.
Okay. Yeah, they definitely, I thought it was from Q50, you know, I didn't know, that's why I asked you to explain it.
Fully Chop is from the same hood as PGF Nook, fellow Chicago rapper who went viral with the song What Up featuring Polo G. PGF Nook was arrested earlier in 2024 on multiple charges.
They say the little PGFs, they into it with the little 147s, which is called Baby Glocks.
Nah, he ain't PGF.
I know you not.
Federal prosecutors on Tuesday charged Chicago rapper PGF Nook with committing 2 violent carjackings earlier this year. CWB Chicago first told you about the allegations against Virgil Gibson, 22, after state prosecutors filed charges against him in April. Officials believe Gibson carjacked 2 people in less than 30 minutes at separate gas stations on the south side. The first hijacking occurred at a service station in the 5900 block of South Morgan around 11:47 p.m. on April 7th. Prosecutors said Gibson, armed with a pistol, took a 32-year-old man's Chevy Malibu at gunpoint. About 30 minutes later, He arrived at a gas station in the 8300 block of South Cottage Grove in the victim's Chevy Malibu. He got out and climbed into a 35-year-old man's 2022 Kia, forcing the driver to move into the passenger seat at gunpoint, prosecutors said. He forced the victim to transfer money to his bank account electronically, made him remove some of his clothing, and then ordered him out of the car, state prosecutors said in a detention petition earlier this year. Covert Chicago police officers later saw Gibson park the hijacked Kia in the 1600 block of West 55th Street and walk away, according to a CPD report. They said they found him hiding in the janitor's closet of a nearby phone store. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Chicago today said a federal grand jury had indicted Gibson on 2 counts of carjacking, 3 counts of using a machine gun during the commission of a violent crime, interference with commerce by the threat of violence, and kidnapping. The sad trend now is once you do an interview, you die shortly after it's released. This was the unfortunate result for Q50 W Lil 50. A 15-year-old boy was shot and killed Tuesday night in the Woodlawn neighborhood on the Chicago South Side. The latest incidents of violence in the community that's left residents on edge and saddened by another loss of life. According to Chicago police, the boy was standing in an alley in the 6600 block of South Champlain Avenue when shots were fired just before 8:30 p.m. The boy was hit in the abdomen and left leg, police say, and rushed to Cormer Children's Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Investigators blocked off the alley where the shooting happened as they documented and canvassed for evidence. At least 16 evidence markers were down on the ground, and shell casings and other personal belongings, including clothing, could be seen.
Also in the news on this Wednesday morning, a teenage boy was shot and killed on the South Side Street last night.
WGN's Courtney Spinelli joins us live from police headquarters with the details. Courtney.
Yeah, good morning to you both. A 15-year-old boy whose identity has still not been released as of this morning was gunned down in the city's Woodlawn neighborhood last night. It's the latest crime in this area that has residents feeling on edge and saddened by another loss of life.
Yes, it was a lot of shots. It was so scary because it was so close.
The sounds of gunfire piercing through this neighborhood around 8:30 Tuesday night. Chicago police responding to the 6600 block of South Champlain where they found the victim.
It's sad. It's so sad because he was so young, you know, and it's like this generation is not able to live because like they getting taken so fast.
We should never get used to it. Life expectancy in teens doesn't go well in the same sentence.
According to CPD, the boy was standing in an alleyway when he was shot multiple times in the abdomen and legs. He was rushed to Comer Children's, but did not survive. Pastor Donovan Price responded to the scene to offer help.
Seems to be an aspiring rapper. Another young person killed.
Investigators could be seen laying evidence markers near spent shell casings and personal belongings left behind. Price says the scene was emotional and paints a picture of the trauma that will face not only his family, but the greater community.
Well, we have to speak life into our young people and hope and the people who do things like this, that they need to know that there's another way.
Resident Caroline Bridges says it's been more frequent where the neighborhood is being plagued by gunfire. As a parent with several young children, she says she fears not only for those involved, but potential innocent victims caught in the crossfires.
It'd be like around 2 o'clock. It'd be real late at night, and it'd just be so many shots. Like, you don't know where they're coming from. It's just so many, and you just, wondering if everybody outside is okay.
Just last month, a 56-year-old man was inside his home in the 6600 block of South St. Lawrence when someone fired shots from the sidewalk. He was with his family, including grandchildren, when his life was brutally taken.
It's very scary.
Price says in either crime, it's important to speak up if you know anything.
If you know something, say something. If you can help, and if you're one of the perpetrators of this and you need someone to hold your hand and walk with you, then I'm willing to.
Now, the motive for this shooting has not yet been released as of this morning, and investigators are still looking for the person or persons responsible. As Area 1 detectives are investigating, they ask anybody with information to give them a call or submit a tip anonymously online.
THF Bayzoo wasn't just another rapper. He moved with THF, Trigger Happy Family, and he was also a part of the collective with Lil Durk, OTF, Only the Family. He had history and blood ties with both, so when his name surfaced that night in Little Village, it didn't make sense. No public warning, no loud buildup, just silence, then shots. People started asking the same question Chicago always asks after moments like this. Who knew he was there? Because someone always does.
Gang. How they want it? Shut your ass up, dude. You talking about Jaleel Gray? Boy, I'll punch out you, boy.
I don't see no purpose in that county. Even sound like this.
Wow.
You know, you said some things about Bezoo, that he's broke. You know, what is your thoughts on that? Because I think you said that Bezoo, you know, wouldn't be able to, you know, like you felt like you'd have been able to get it back, to watch his back if it was you.
I mean, hell yeah, for sure. It ain't no if. I would've. If I did some snake to it, I'm cool with, or that my people in business with or doing business with or anything, you know what I'm saying? I'm no, you wrong, you bogus, don't do that. You can't do that, you know what I'm saying? I'll get into it with it over there, like, so even doing some shit like that on my name, on my watch, like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, no, you don't do shit like that to people, you feel me? And he could have stopped it. He could have went and got it back. Or maybe he couldn't, who knows? Feel what I'm saying? But I was cool with folks, you feel me? We used to be talking, we used to be cool, you get what I'm saying? So I was expecting him to make that shit right so it won't be no extra shit behind it, you know what I'm saying? And he couldn't.
October 25th, 2025. Chicago's Little Village neighborhood, a place known for its vibrant culture, tight-knit families, and a dark, unshakable undercurrent of violence. That Saturday afternoon, what began as an ordinary day in the West Side community ended in chaos, blood, and disbelief. A familiar name in Chicago's drill scene was gunned down, a name tied to power, loyalty, and danger. THF Bayzoo. But behind the flashing lights and sirens, behind the crime scene tape and the dozens of shell casings, lies a story no one saw coming.
Out of Little Village, 3 men are in the hospital after a shooting. This happened around 3 this afternoon near 31st and St. Louis. Police say those victims were standing in a parking lot when a car drove up and someone inside started firing. One of the men was taken to the hospital in critical condition. The other 2 are expected to survive. So far, no one is in custody.
At around 3 p.m., witnesses say the air was still, the sound of traffic, the hum of a regular afternoon, nothing out of the ordinary. Then, without warning, gunfire erupted. A vehicle pulled up near a small parking lot on the 3100 block of South St. Louis Avenue. No words, no warnings, just bullets, tearing through the air, cutting through the calm. 3 men were hit, one of them 35-year-old Devonshea Collier, known to millions as THF Bayzoo. Multiple shots struck his torso and abdomen. The shooter didn't linger. The vehicle sped away, disappearing into the grid of narrow Chicago streets like smoke in the wind. Police arrived within minutes, sirens slicing through the air, shell casings littered the ground. Rifle rounds, handgun rounds, dozens of them. It wasn't random. Whoever came that day came prepared. Bezoo was rushed to Mount Sinai Hospital. Doctors fought to stabilize him, but his injuries were too severe. Within hours, the news spread across social media like wildfire. THF Bayzoo, gone at 35 years old. A figure who has survived the streets, the rumors, the rivalries, only to be taken in the flash of gunfire on a quiet Saturday afternoon. The other 2 victims, men aged 39 and 42, survived, both in fair condition, but none will forget what they saw that day.
I wanted to just ask how much information we could get about the arrest that had you locked up for the 4 years, where you did beat the body right after that. What actually happened that you could talk about in that whole scenario where they tried to charge you with that?
My case?
Yeah.
Man, look, man. Stuart Little's around us, man. That's all I can tell you, homie. Like, run around this trying to be Mickey Mouse and put him on against some shit. Like, bro, the case that I was fighting my murder on happened 4th of July 2008 or 9. Don't quote me because I don't remember. Like, I done been through so much afterwards. I didn't get arrested for a murder charge in 2014, so you do the math.
5 years later, that's pretty unreal.
What conclusion you come with for that?
Right. So somebody told on you at a later date.
Somebody lied on me at a later date.
Right.
By nightfall, detectives cordoned off the block. They marked every casing, every blood stain, every shattered piece of glass. Dozens of witnesses claimed to have heard the shots, but few saw the shooter. An unknown vehicle, that's all police could confirm. No suspects, no arrests, no motive. Was it a setup, a personal dispute, or something far more calculated? A message? Bayzoo's ties ran deep. He wasn't just another name from Chicago's South Side. He was THF, and a close associate of Lil Durk's Only the Family Collective, OTF. Those connections came with respect and enemies.
One thing about my block, bro, they do them, man. They don't be looking for that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? They don't inherit a lot of niggas. It'd be dick sucking niggas that just want to fuck with who they want to fuck with and just inherit niggas beefs. You know what I'm saying? My block don't be with all that shit, bro. That's why we be out the way for real. But niggas know what's up, though. Like, these niggas can fly out on these cameras, do whatever they want to do, man. Like, niggas know what's up, bro. You know what I'm saying?
They said it happened on the west side. And if you know Chicago, you know the west side isn't safe ground for THF. THF TP was killed there. It's a part of the city where lines get blurred. Alliances one day, enemies the next. And if Bayzoo really was hit there, that says something. It means somebody felt bold enough to send a message. Then came the strange part. When Bayzoo's name hit the blogs, BVC members started posting a different name. Man. If you know, you know. Man was allegedly tied to the death of THF TP and the string of violent revenge hits that followed. So when his name popped up again, people started putting the pieces together. Was this all connected, or just another round in an endless cycle that no one can escape? Different ages, different crews, different years, but the same quiet pattern. Not enemies kicking down doors, but trust being used as a weapon. In Chicago, the scariest setups don't feel dangerous at all. They feel familiar. And by the time you realize you've been backdoored, it's already too late. Alright, y'all, there y'all have it, man. That's the story of, just a couple of backdoors. It's numerous ones. And, I might make another video, like a part 2. Yeah, get in the comment section. Let me know if y'all want me to do a part 2 to this. And, I'll get to that. But you know how this slogan go, man. Drillers and trappers. We outside trapping and drilling 247. Don't go nowhere. Watch that next video. Gang!